Now, following on from the previous video where I showed you how to generate decks of flashcards with Anki for the purposes of learning, for instance, non-Latin language like Hebrew or Arabic or Chinese or whatever, here is an updated video which shows you a shortcut in terms of speeding up the process. So, for instance, in this instance, Anki is very good in terms of learning, as I said, non-Latin languages. And what I do is I go to the book, the textbook of the language that I have. So this textbook is almost 30 years old. It's from a company called Linguaphone. They're absolutely fantastic in terms of a means by which to learn a different language. It's a traditional way, but for me it is much more in depth, and the company has been around for almost over 100 years. I think it's a UK-based company originally, but it might have been sold on. So here we are. This is the book in relation to Linguaphone Arabic. Now, this is a means by which to add another dimension in terms of learning the language. And I use it to create flashcards, to put them onto the phone, and then to undertake study in terms of what I call micro study. So if you're waiting at the bus stop, you have a few minutes to spare, you can use this means to do it. So I'm extracting out the information from this book to create snippets into the flashcards, which will help me to learn the language. So when I have the flashcards, then I listen to the accompanying audio, which it comes with the actual Linguaphone course, and I'm reinforcing the study. And I must say it is a really beneficial way of learning. I can recall one instance of traveling to a country, Spain, and the flight was 3 hours, and I had the flashcards open on the phone, and by the time I took off to when I landed, I had enough language to get me through the holiday. So again, that's just one example. Now, back to the process in hand. What I want to do here now is I want to create a flashcard with the various snippets of information. So each of these is going to be a separate flashcard. And this is going to be the back of the card, and I'm going to type in the front, the English spelling. So to do that, I am going to use the snipping tool on Windows. So I open the snipping tool. This is just an example now. And then, okay, the next word that I want to learn is airport. No, it's going to be first. So I go along here as best I can, and I create a nice frame around the text. I let go, and as you can see at the top there, there's a little bit of scruff, so I just remove that. How do I remove that? I go and choose custom pen, and then I choose the white background, okay, and then I choose chisel and whatnot. And again, down below, I just tidy it up slightly. And there we are. So this will be speeded up. So from there, I simply click inside the snipping tool, press Control, copy, Control C, and then I progress over to the Anki Droid, and I choose Arabic. So this is lesson 1. And then I'm going to add to that. And then I'm going to minimize these because I don't want to use them. Now, interestingly, I pasted into the text and not the image. And then inside here, I type in first. And that is basically it. Then I go down and I press the add button. And then it brings me to automatically insert another image, etc., etc. So I'm progressing through the textbook and extrapolating the information as I go. Now, for the purposes of this example, I'm also going to show you how to extrapolate the other aspects. So this is the vocabulary. So each chapter in this particular book has its list of vocabularies, and then in the middle, after that you have an explanation for the text. And so for instance here now is part 1. So I'm using a Nuance PDF editor. You might have Adobe, you might have Foxit, you might have some other editor. And in order for me to extract that information, I press the arrow button, and then I go here, and it just takes a few minutes to activate, and then I just highlight the text, and then I press Control-C again, and then I go back over and I paste that into the back of the text, and then I do a little bit of editing. So this is the phonetic description, and I press Control, I highlight the text. So this is the part that, and this is what I want to be the front. So press Control-C, Control-V, and then I go through editing it to my liking. Now, as you can see, it is an arduous process, but I have to assure you the benefits far outweigh the disadvantages of learning in the traditional book way. And that is basically it. So that's another card added. Now if I go back into the deck, and if I go to deck 1, browse the decks, so where is it there first? Let me see there. There we are, there's the first, and there is the card. And there is the actual image at the back. And how do I use the decks? Well, it's fairly straightforward, so I'm going to close down this. Now I usually do this on the phone. So it's a case of going into the deck. So let's assume I want to learn lesson 1. Let's go into Hebrew, for instance. I want to learn introduction. So I press study now. Fine. And you. So let me just minimize that there. So here we are. So this is the question, fine and you. So I'm thinking there now. Tov meod toda ve'ata. And then I press show answer. And there we are. So it has the phonetic description as well as the extracted text from the textbook. Have I learned that? Was it easy? Yes, it was. So I'm going to press good. You are a student. Ata talmid. There we go. Perfect. Easy. Ana benches isre. Etc. So again, if I'm not happy with that, I press go again. And I have here 75 that I've learned. There's 1 that I have to currently learn. And again, it is a brilliant, excellent tool for learning any topic, and in particular languages. Now, what is the advantage to this I see over competitors like Quizlet, for instance? One of the advantages is that you can zoom in, using on the phone, you can zoom in to the actual text, whereas you cannot do this on the other competitors, for example, Quizlet. And that's the reason why I'm using it in this instance for the non-Latin languages. Chinese, Hebrew, Arabic, etc., etc. So that is just a brief description in how to use Anki for learning languages that are not in the Latin alphabet. And thank you for watching.